Thanks, Luke. Excellent speech as normal. I've just launched Sharon onto the stage. I don't know how many of you know Sharon. She's done some excellent talks down in London. She was with us last year. I don't know really what she's going to talk about this time, but all I know is it's called The Silent Journey. Here's Sharon.
Can everybody hear me? Just to say hello, Birmingham Wildlife Festival. It's wonderful to be back here again. Just to very briefly introduce myself for anyone that doesn't know me. My name is Sharon and I work as an inspirational speaker, author and poet. And literally, I raise awareness to mental health issues, well-being and recovery, wildlife and nature, and animal welfare issues. So, after that brief introduction, I'll kick off. It's always suggested that until we try to step into someone else's shoes, we cannot understand their journey in life, how they feel, or what makes them the person that they are. What I want us all to do today, just for a few moments, is to imagine what it must feel like not to step into someone else's shoes, but what it might feel like to step into another living being's hooves, paws, trotters, claws, or webbed feet, or any other animal foot that I've not included in those. So, let's imagine for a moment we are born without a voice. No voice to express our feelings, a silence that gives no choice. But much worse than this, let's imagine as a baby, we are stolen, separated, snatched, or simply taken. We suddenly feel abandoned, deserted, and forsaken. Replacing our mother's warmth, we suddenly feel a fear. Yet our family tried so desperately to keep us close, to keep us near, to shield us, protect us from the harmful two-legged strangers. But once again, their voice is silent. They could not save us from the dangers. Now let's imagine as a little toddler, we are herded into pens. With a mother no longer around to comfort us, we huddle close to newfound friends. But much worse than this, let's imagine we are bundled, manhandled, shoved into a transporter, travelling many hours, sometimes days for an exporter. Our little ears are tagged, we are now labelled as produce, and no guarantees of broken rules, which could be termed as child abuse. So who will shield us, protect us from these harmful two-legged strangers? Because once again, our voice is silent. Who can save us from these dangers? Now, let's imagine a different story. We are an orphan left all alone, still dependent on our mother's milk, but her whereabouts is unbeknown. Much worse than this, though, let's imagine our mother was ripped to shreds, bludgeoned, shot and killed, taken from our life for someone's thrills to be fulfilled, or branded as diseased, yet she was culled instead of healed. Just imagine the heartache once her disappearance is revealed. She was meant to shield us, protect us from the harmful two-legged strangers, but because her voice was silent, she could not save her family or herself from all the dangers. Finally, let's imagine from an infant, we are locked inside a tiny cage. For up to 30 years, our body's crippled. We are denied love at any stage. But much worse than this, let's imagine our bile is used for medicine without consent, approval or permission. Deprived of dignity and declawed to crumble into submission. Being toothless, dehydrated and dangerously underweight. The excruciating pain we are unable to translate. So who can shield us, protect us from these two-legged, harmful strangers? Because once again, our voice is silent. Who can save us from these dangers? This poem literally scratches at the surface. It would take a multitude of verses written to highlight every persecution humanity inflicts on other living beings across the world, and yet I still have hope. We must all have hope, because whilst we have hope, there will always be a way. But if we lose that hope, we lose our way, which is not just detrimental to ourselves and the ones who we are trying to make a difference for, but worse still for future generations too. Over the past few years, I have met so many inspirational people who are tirelessly trying to make changes for others, continuously raising awareness to the countless humanitarian and animal welfare issues that we face. And yet, they've either had their own personal battles to overcome, or they have completely focused their life on what they are passionate about, what gets them just here. In some instances, it's what gets them just here that helps them overcome their own hurdles. And in this latter group of people, I would very much like to include myself too. Let me tell you briefly about two of these people, two of the humblest and kindest people that for me replicate the perfect examples of this drive, determination and passion, which, because they have successfully intertwined with the diplomacy and sensitivity required to achieve results, they do. Firstly, let me tell you about a lady called Carol Webb, who lost her husband in a road traffic accident caused by a drunk driver. She held her 32-year-old disabled daughter in her arms as she passed away from an heart attack. But when her mother died shortly after through breast cancer, she refused to give up. She decided to follow her passion, and that got her through. So she set about building the foundations of what is now known as Farm Animal Rescue Sanctuary in Stratford. A one-time veterinary nurse, her last 30 years has been spent dedicated to looking after rescued farm animals. She gave up her 4-bedroomed house to live on site in a rickety mobile home, looking after 3-legged lambs, pigs with digestive problems, and believe you me, they do have digestive problems, worn-out breeding ewes, and pigeons with broken wings. All are welcome, and at the age of 71, and I'm sure she won't mind me telling you this, 72 in August, Carol is now caring for over 400 animals. In between my work as an author and inspirational speaker, I volunteer for Farm Animal Rescue Sanctuary, helping the key volunteer administrator with ongoing marketing and social media awareness. Visiting Carol and all the animals once a month is an absolute pleasure. But for me, also, it's the equivalent of a weekend spa break, which also includes a facial and body mud pack kindly delivered by the resident pig, the mischievous George. Just a few weeks old when he arrived at the sanctuary a couple of years ago, the piglet soon settled in and has grown into the most handsome boy and Woolly Farm's biggest heartthrob. It's a humanitarian haven away from the media and technology madness for me. 4 of FAR's latest residents were delivered to Carol a few weeks ago after 2 wonderful ladies who, on behalf of Birmingham Animal Action, bravely went to a farmer's market with money raised by the group to save what lives they could. These 1-year-old lambs were heading for slaughter, but will now spend the rest of their days at the sanctuary, which can be up to 18 to 20 years, the average lifespan of a sheep if it isn't prematurely killed for meat. Jill Robinson, founder of Animals Asia, is another lady who inspired me so much after seeing her speak in Birmingham last year, I immediately decided to step outside my comfort zone to help raise funds for their ongoing incredible work with regards to animal welfare in Asia. Born in Nottingham but now living in China, Jill founded Animals Asia in 1998 after an encounter with a caged bear on a farm in southern China. It changed her life forever, and Jill vowed to put an end to bear-bow farming. Since this time, Animals Asia have rescued over 500 bears in China and Vietnam. But this isn't all they do. The non-profit organisation have also been key, alongside other charities, in raising awareness to the Yulin Dog Festival. In the past, 10,000 dogs have been killed over 2 days at this festival. But through exposure and growing pressure from both East and West, united, this has now been reduced to less than 1,000. Not many months ago, the charity also uncovered the plight of a live polar bear held captive in a small glass enclosure in what has been dubbed the world's saddest zoo. Grandview Zoo squeezed into a shopping complex in China, presumably the owners believing it would be an added attraction for the families. Through international pressure, though, and a petition signed by almost 130,000 animal lovers for Grandview Zoo to close, a meeting was held with the senior staff and Animals Asia. The outcome was a redesign and to allow Animals Asia to give advice on improving the lives of the captive animals as well as offering veterinary care. As yet, though, sadly, there remains no suggestion that Grandview will close the aquarium or rehouse the animals. Jill and Animals Asia are making great strides, but still have so much more to do, which is why I have been training ridiculously hard for the Great Wall of China Trek Challenge, where I will be part of a united team helping to raise funds for Jill's Animals Asia in October this year. 5 days trekking approximately 7 to 8 hours a day across some of the remotest parts of the wall. I applaud both Carol and Jill. They are unsung heroes to me. They have each duly earned my respect, love and admiration because they continue to triumph. They continue to make a profound difference for others. As animal lovers, we still have a long way to go. But together, I feel we are all getting stronger. United with like-minded people across the world, our voices are being heard in many different ways. So to close my talk, I want to go back to the last 3 lines of the poem that I opened up with, which was called The Silent Journey, and wrote a couple of weeks ago, especially for here. But I'm going to make a few slight word adjustments. So who can shield them, protect them from these 2-legged harmful strangers? We can. We all can, because our voices are not silent. We can help save them. We can help save them from these dangers. Thank you. And just before I leave the stage, I just want to say that I do have a stand at the festival today, and I'm on my own, so please don't make me lonely. Please come and have a chat. Talk to me about Animals Asia, Farm Animal Rescue Sanctuary. I also have a book that I've just written, which I am selling here today, which a percentage will go to the Animals Asia China Trek. Thank you.